In August 2023, 40,000 scouts and explorers from across the world travelled to South Korea on the 25th World Scout Jamboree, seeking to make new connections, explore culture, and engage in breathtaking on-site activities. But with a typhoon looming, undesirable on-site conditions, and global news coverage, this jamboree had to adapt to city life to survive. Now, almost a year later, participants have reflected on their real experiences, so it's time to find the truth of this chaos from the ground. This is Gogglegonks, Jamboree Survivors. Previously, we met a group of young people from UK Unit 56 who told us about how they met each other and their first training event to prepare for the Jamboree. Before we can find out what happened there are many more stories from training camps to uncover, including the mysterious death hike.
What sort of team building activities did you do as a unit?
We did like raft building and stuff.
Raft building was fun, and the whitewater rafting.
No, the
I
whitewater
really want to
rafting.
do that again.
Except from my group, so one of the other groups capsized us. You were in my group.
I think I was in the same boat. I completely
Yeah.
fell out and went.
No, everyone completely fell out and we were just swimming, and that happened like 3 times, and the leaders were just there like laughing at us on the side.
My group, we hit one of the kind of walls that in the river, and I just got sent absolutely flying through the air. Everybody stayed in the boat. It wasn't like everybody fell out. It was just me who just went absolutely flying over this wall, catapulted into the water, and I just like emerged like 10, 20 meters away from where everybody was. Just got, that was really, really good fun, that activity.
Oh, and raft building, which, considering we're scouts and considering we should know how to tie a basic knot, it went terribly. I think everyone's rafts just completely fell apart within about
My
5
team won
seconds.
though, that's what I'm saying.
Sorry.
Yes, we were the last on the water, so we were
really
also
shocking.
last to fall in. That's the logic behind it.
I quite like the aqua park.
That was good, yeah.
Where everyone ganged up on Phil and just threw him in.
Yeah.
It was great fun actually. I think we were pushing the leaders in as much as possible. I think I managed to sneak up behind Amy, I think it was, and give her a good shove in.
That's the one where I lost all my nails. I got them all nice and done for the summer. Well, I'll have to show you a photo later. Got them all nice and done. I fell off so many times, they all popped off. I was so mad. And Adam Roberts as well, I was going, I'm not laughing, it's not funny. And he turned to me and he went, it is funny though, isn't it? And
It was him and Phil who just kept pushing each other off.
yeah, I lost like a whole set of nails because of them.
I was on the side. She wasn't particularly pleased about, as you can probably imagine. I was on the side taking photos and I got a good one of Kerry just in midair, about to hit the water. Yes.
Over the 13 training camps discussed previously, Unit 56 embarked on several activities including an aqua park on the summer camp and rafting on their final longer camp. Most events were short, but these 2 camps had more time for adventure. Along the way, the unit also needed fundraiser events to support them in their travels as a group while in Korea.
What was the food situation like on training camps? Well, in this particular one, Phil's looking very pleased with himself because he's got a plate of jelly and I think that's an ice cream tower.
Probably, yeah.
And that was
great food. That was
the
at a
Oxford
buffet,
one,
yeah.
at a buffet. And we'd like...
I ate so much rice.
Yeah, that was really fun.
Egg fried rice.
Because it was a proper buffet and we spent the day going around Oxford trying to learn how to exist in a city and not get lost. Yeah. But apart from that, the food wasn't terrible.
Interesting.
Depending on what group you were in, very much determined how good your food was.
Yes.
So, my group, we had Nick and Heather, and Callum. Callum is a very good cook. All of the food that he prepared was incredible. But I'm trying to think which the best meals were.
Some of it was nice, some of it was a bit questionable.
Yeah. I'm glad we discovered who knew how to cook early on before Korea.
I feel like we all got far better at cooking by the end of it because the final big training camp we had, the 4-day one, we were all sort of sharing responsibility by that point because up until then everyone sort of had designated cooks for each patrol, and but then that camp me and Jess did a pasta dish, and it was absolutely phenomenal. It was a bit spicy, but it was so tasty. And we had the kimbaps as well. That was interesting. They were a bit warm by the time we had them, but we also had a lot of cabbage on that training camp.
A lot of cabbage,
especially.
a lot
Amy
of kimchi.
planned. Oh, just kimchi, yeah.
They tried to make it Korean, to try and prepare us for Korea.
But then there was us trying to replicate authentic recipes with our limited supplies. One time Phil forgot the gas, so we couldn't actually cook anything. There was lots of incidents like that, so often what we had was not very nice.
It was good food though, for the most part.
Was a low point of training events that tested you?
The death hike.
Mm-hmm.
This is the famous death hike that apparently Heather didn't go to. I think we were forced to do a really long hike and then we had to camp in. It wasn't a proper campsite.
This hike, I was absolutely shattered because this was a night where we'd all slept in hammocks the night before, and some people decided to go to sleep and get a nice rest before we went on this hike. Other people, including me, didn't. So I didn't really wake up because I didn't go to sleep in the first place. But in the morning, we were all trying to get sorted and get breakfast ready and everything before we went on a hike all the way to go get food. And I think most people in our group were pretty shattered at that point. And we managed to get lost and took about 2 hours extra to get to
yeah. What happened on Death Hike, Emma?
We had to walk, was it from Tring to Wendover and back with our big backpacks on, just to set up lunch.
It was basically, we woke up at 5 a.m, which was definitely not Nick's fault. We had some soggy eggs and some bread for breakfast.
So much happened on this camp. I remember the night I was not happy. We were sleeping in hammocks.
We were in hammocks in the woods.
That was an amazing camp. I love that one.
They had they deliberately just gave us a couple of eggs and went, do what you want with this. But they didn't give us oil, so we couldn't fry them or anything. So we
Which group decided to mix their beans and their eggs together?
I don't even know.
Because
Which I would have been fine with if it was not sub-zero temperatures. I remember you and Jess had to hoist me into my and I got all thorns and stuff in my socks. And I refuse to ever hear the word Tring in my house anymore. No. My mum brings it up and I'm like, no. And she's like, why? And I'm like, we don't speak of it.
So bad. I had to pull Ruby for the last mile. I was actually holding her hand and dragging her because she just would not move.
Actually, in the end, it was probably quite a good preparation. So that was I think the aim of that was build resilience because it's physically and I guess mentally challenging.
Yeah, but you just hear loads of horror stories of it, of people waking up at 6 a.m?
5 a.m.
Having
whatever. That was your fault.
Here's a little debrief on what Death Hike actually was. The unit were tasked with sleeping in hammocks before heading out on a hike the next morning that should have taken around 3 hours. With the arrival time set at 10 a.m, everyone was up and ready pretty early. After a camp set up and lunch at the other end, everyone had to make their way back. Pretty straightforward when you put it that way.
Did you contact other units before going? Nick wants a shout out for making the UK contingent group chat. Thanks, Nick, for making the UK contingent group chat.
No problem.
We did. I mean, the picture here is the Monopoly run.
We run into a few different UK units, as seen in this picture. Wow. So we could trade some badges if we had them, but we forgot them. But then we made a group chat for the UK contingent.
Walked around and because it was the launch year of a lot of Jamboree units, there was so many of us there. We just see these red, white and blue neckers and immediately you go and speak to them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Avoid all the other neckers, we're only interested in the ones,
the elite ones.
I didn't get in contact with a huge amount of people beforehand, but there were a few people who I was talking to every single day, and I ended up meeting them on the camp as well.
Well, I had some friends who were going from other units anyway. So I had a friend in Unit 29 and a friend in Unit 28, which was cool. So we could like talk about what we were doing for training, but like separately.
I made it and then promptly left it.
Yeah.
Which means I can't claim that I made it because I'm not on it anymore.
I was added to it and then, but because I think there were quite a few people on it, it just ended up being
hundreds of people. It was chaos. Yeah.
And I was like, and I didn't really say anything, and I thought, oh, I'll talk to them when I'm there, but didn't have that long to talk to them.
What was the pre-jamboree trip like?
Yeah, they were singing at the top and it was just beautiful. It was really nice.
Things. We went to see the zoo, some people went to an aquarium.
We were having to transport all our bags up and down the trains and escalators.
Oh my
god.
Everyone wasn't even on the first time we went.
Yeah, so we thought it was on, and then it wasn't.
Yeah.